Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewinski and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight, as Russia and Ukraine prepared for their first direct ceasefire talks since 2022, Moscow launched a large wave of drone attacks targeting multiple regions all across Ukraine. According to local Ukrainian authorities, more than 100 drones were launched by the Russian forces. Residential areas in Ukraine's Dnipro region came under heavy fire. While initial reports indicate no casualties, the extent of structural damage is still being assessed. In the Ivano-Frankivsk region, a fire broke out in the aftermath of the strike, though emergency services managed to contain the blaze without casualties. In the Sumy region, local officials confirmed that civilian infrastructure was hit by Russian strikes. Air defense systems were also brought on high alert overnight in the Kiev region and in the western city of Lutsk, located in the Volhynia region. So far, no casualties have been reported in either area. This widespread assault comes just hours before planned peace negotiations are set to begin in Istanbul on the 15th of May. But despite diplomatic overtures, the reality on the battlefield tells a different story. In the Toretsk and Pokrovsk sectors, Russian forces are pressing forward. According to independent military analysts at the Deep State, Russian troops have partially seized several villages near the strategic city of Pokrovsk. These advances threaten to disrupt critical Ukrainian supply routes, raising concerns about broader implications for Kiev's frontline logistics. Russian war correspondent Yuri Kotyanyok further reports that Russian units are edging closer to the administrative border of the Dnipro region from the western flank of the Pokrovsk axis. Turning to the Middle East now. For the first time since the last ceasefire, Israeli forces reportedly struck a UN peacekeeping base in southern Lebanon, marking a dangerous new development along the Israeli-Lebanese border. The attack drew condemnation from the UN and raised concerns over the safety of peacekeepers operating in the area. Meanwhile, in the Red Sea, Houthi forces launched additional missile attacks in southern Israel. The Israeli military claims to have intercepted several inbound missiles, where retaliatory strikes have been reported on Houthi positions near Sana'a. When technology meets precise calculation and cold intelligence, the results are usually quite spectacular. The Ukrainian military has now demonstrated a new level of efficiency, employing an FPV drone with a mounted grenade launcher. This is more than just technical know-how. It is a response to a large-scale threat in a grueling war. FPV drones on the front line are becoming not just the eyes, but also the fist of troops on the ground, mobile, accurate, and deadly effective. Not to mention, of course, the maritime drones that Ukraine has been using for a while now, including to shoot down Russian fighter jets. Drone technology is indeed evolving at a very rapid pace, but we're moving on now to our next story. Earlier this week, fresh clashes erupted in Libya. Following a prison break from a facility near Tripoli, stability support apparatus forces have been deployed along roads into Tripoli, including the road leading to the Mitiga airport. According to eyewitnesses, a military convoy set out towards Mitiga. Gunshots rocking the streets of the Libyan capital, and the Government of National Unity is attempting to take control of prisons and headquarters in various parts of the city. 3 municipalities have announced the suspension of school classes and exams due to fears for safety. And we're going back to Ukraine for our next feature. This next clip, filmed by Ukrainian soldiers, shows not only a definite blow dealt to the Russians, but also stands as clear proof that even an old Soviet man-portable air defense system in the hands of a professional is a formidable weapon. And if the Russians hope to deploy their aviation assets with impunity, it seems it is time to reconsider this bold stance. The footage coming up shows what has now become something of a staple in this war. Ukrainian troops shooting down a Russian Su-25 attack aircraft with an Igla man-portable air defense system.
Зацепило. О, є, чорний дим, чорний дим. Прийом. Зробив пуск, азімут 100, дальність десь біля 3. Чорний дим наблюдаю. Су-25, крило, одне. Welcome to Ukraine!
Now, moving on, and the footage coming up next shows something we ourselves didn't believe to be true. It looks ridiculous, pitiful, and not what you would expect to see in an army. But for Russians, an old Moskvich car is apparently good enough to serve as a medevac vehicle on the front line. Well, as for the results, see for yourselves.
Вот на таком мы и работаем, стараемся из чего-то как-то сделать. Давай, поехали. Чтобы раненых вывозить, сейчас будем из 3 москвичей 1 собирать.
And this apparently is a rare convertible version. Also, think of the amount of drone protection, or rather the lack thereof, that this vehicle actually offers. Now, the Russians are methodically turning Ukrainian frontline cities into rubble, dust and ashes. We've seen that happening over and over again. Guided aerial bombs are just one of the tools in the Russian arsenal used for this horrible purpose. Their strikes are hard to stop, but each recorded attack is another piece of evidence for history and for the coming tribunals. Ukrainian troops are moving forward through the rubble, through danger, under enemy gunfire, but they are recording everything. Because if the Russian army wants the world not to see its war and its war crimes, well, it seems they invaded the wrong country.
Кап, прилетів, кап. Не, пошли сюда. Ас, пошли вон через дорогу. Ну. Все капає.
And this really is what we're actually up against. The Russian world is like a poor reenactment of Fallout 76. And this is something that all the negotiators involved in the process should remember. We don't want any sort of post-apocalyptic fantasies to become realized anywhere else by the Russians. And with this, we conclude this episode of Military Mind. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.